Welcome to the video lecture series of Grade 10 Chemistry. Today we will be discussing about the physical properties of metals. So let us look at one by one. The first property is metallic luster. Metals in the pure state possess luster, which means they have a shining appearance. This property is called metallic luster. So metals like aluminum, then magnesium, they appear white in color, while copper, symbol of copper is Cu, copper is reddish brown. It is found that the surface of most of the metals becomes dull when exposed to air for a long time. This is due to the attack of gases such as oxygen, carbon dioxide, etc. present in the air on the surface of the metals, which forms a thin layer of oxides, carbonate, etc. Gold is used in jewelry. This is due to the reason that gold is not attacked by the gases present in the air. That's why it is mainly used in jewelry. And silver. Silver is used to make mirrors. What is the reason? This is because due to its shining appearance, which makes it a good reflector of light. That's why silver is used in making mirrors. Now, if you are looking at the second property of metals, we can see that metals are generally hard. Most of the metals are generally hard, and the hardness varies from metal to metal. Metals like iron, copper, aluminum, etc. are quite hard. They cannot be easily cut with a knife. But metals like sodium, potassium, etc. on the other hand, they are so soft and they can be cut with a knife. Yet they are metals. Now, another properties of metals are malleable and ductile. Which means metals can be beaten into thin sheets. This property is called malleability. Similarly, metals can be drawn into thin wires. That is called ductility. For example, the most ductile metal is gold. So gold is the most ductile metal. It is interesting to know that a wire of about 2 km length can be drawn from 1 gram of gold. It is because of their malleability and ductility that metals can be given different shapes according to our needs. Metals are good conductors of heat and they possess high melting point. It is interesting to know that silver is the best conductor of heat. Silver Ag is the best conductor of heat. And copper is the second best conductor, followed by aluminum. That's why cooking vessels and water boilers are generally made of copper and aluminum. Silver being comparatively costlier. If we look on the back side of a fridge, you can see a metal grill. What is the purpose of this metal grill? Its function is to conduct heat away from the refrigerator, keeping it cool. Among all the metals, lead is the poorest conductor of heat. and mercury is also a poor conductor of heat. Lithium, sodium, potassium, gallium and cesium, they have low melting points, yet they are metals. So lithium, sodium, potassium, gallium, all these have low melting points. In fact, gallium and cesium, they have such a low melting point that they even melt on keeping them on your palm. When we look at electrical conductivity, metals are good conductors of electricity. So that, which means they allow electricity to pass through them very easily. Now, which is the best conductor of electricity? It is silver. Silver is the best conductor of electricity. Followed by copper, then gold, aluminium, and then tungsten. Mercury, on the other hand, is the poorest conductor. Mercury, the symbol is Hg. It is the poorest conductor of electricity. Because it offers the maximum resistance to the flow of current. Iron also offers less comparatively greater resistance to the flow of current. Thus, it has lower electrical conductivity. So, the order of electrical conductivities of some of the metals is given here. Now, silver is the best conductor, then comes copper, then gold, then comes aluminium, followed by tungsten and then mercury. Copper and aluminium, being cheaper than silver and gold, are used for making electrical wires. Another property of metals are generally sonorous. Sonorous means they produce sound on striking on a hard surface. When a metal coin falls on the floor, it produces a clear ringing sound. This property of producing sound when metals are struck with a hard object is called the sonority of metals. When a bell made of metal sheet is struck with a wooden hammer, a deep ring sound is produced. Metal sheets are thus used as school bells. Usually metals will have high density, means metals are heavy substances. This is mainly because the atoms are closely packed in metals. For example, iron Fe has a high density so it is represented like 7.8 gram per centimeter cube. Okay, so thus it is a heavy substance. But on the other hand, sodium and potassium, they have very low density. It's about 0.97 gram per centimeter cube. This is for sodium, and for potassium it is 0.86 gram per centimeter cube, which means that they are very soft metals, means they have very low density. So they are light metals. Light means soft. Then metals are usually solids at room temperature. All metals such as iron, copper, aluminium, magnesium, gold, silver, etc. all are solids at room temperature. What is the exception over here? That is mercury. Mercury is the only metal which exists as liquid in the room temperature. Usually metals will have high tensile strength. What is tensile strength? Metals can hold a large weight without breaking. This is due to the property that iron is used in the construction of bridges, buildings, railway lines, vehicles, machinery parts, etc. So this is very important property of metals. So far we discussed the 10 properties of metals. Now we can discuss about the physical properties of non-metals. Non-metals do not possess any luster except iodine. Iodine is purple in color and it possesses luster. Usually non-metals are non-malleable and non-ductile. In solid state, they are neither malleable nor ductile. Now, non-metals are soft and brittle. Here we have one exception, that is diamond. Diamond is actually the allotrope of carbon and which is the hardest substance known. And non-metals are usually poor conductors of heat and electricity except graphite. So graphite is actually a good conductor of heat and electricity because it possesses free valence electrons to conduct electricity. Non-metals are usually non-sonorous, which means they do not produce any sound when you hit with a hard object. And non-metals have low density, which means they are light elements. For example, the density of phosphorus is 1.8 gram per centimeter cube. And also that for sulfur is 2.0 or 2 gram per centimeter cube, which means they are very light elements. And usually they have low melting and low boiling points. Except diamond, graphite and boron. They have high melting point. Now, usually non-metals will have low tensile strength. Means they are easily broken. And the non-metals can be solid. For example, iodine, phosphorus, carbon, sulfur, all are solids. And the bromine is liquid. And other non-metals like hydrogen, oxygen, all these are gases. So which means that they can be solids, liquids or gases at room temperature. In the next video, we will be discussing about the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Thanks for watching the video.